Have you ever heard a sound that sent a shiver down your spine? Not a loud bang, but something soft, something that shouldn't be there. Today, we're diving into a story that's been whispered in a small, forgotten town for generations, the tale of the witch's bell. Legend has it that deep in the woods, just past the old stone wall, hangs a small, unassuming brass bell. It's tied to the branch of an ancient oak tree with a weathered rope. No one knows who put it there or why. Locals call it the witch's bell. They say it only rings for two reasons: to warn of impending danger, or to announce the arrival of something otherworldly. What makes this bell so chilling isn't its name, but its behavior. It never rings in the wind, no matter how hard the gales blow. In fact, people have seen it perfectly still during violent storms. But on quiet, calm nights, when the air is heavy and silent, that's when you might hear it. A single, clear, metallic chime that cuts through the stillness. One of the most famous stories comes from the early 1900s. A young boy named Thomas was lost in those very woods as dusk fell. He was terrified, cold, and had given up hope. Suddenly, he heard a single, soft ring. He looked up and saw a faint light flickering near the sound. He followed it, and the bell rang again, a little closer this time. It guided him, ring by ring, out of the dense forest and back to the main path, just as a search party was about to give up. He always claimed the bell saved his life. But there are darker tales too. Decades later, a group of teenagers dared each other to go and ring the bell themselves. They found it hanging silently, just as described. One of them, a boy named Leo, reached out and gave the rope a hard tug. The bell let out a loud, discordant clang that echoed unnaturally through the trees. His friends laughed, but Leo went pale. He said that when he touched the rope, he felt an icy coldness shoot up his arm, and for a split second, he saw a shadowy figure standing behind the tree. They all dismissed it as a trick of the light. But the next day, a sudden freak fire started in Leo's family barn, destroying everything inside. Nothing else in the area was affected. Coincidence? Maybe, but the older folks in town shook their heads and muttered that the bell should never be rung by human hands. It rings on its own terms. Skeptics, of course, have tried to debunk the legend. They've suggested everything from trapped air pockets inside the bell to unusual acoustic properties of the surrounding woods. Some have even proposed that small animals or birds might be bumping into it. But no one has ever managed to catch it in the act. Trail cameras set up to watch the bell have mysteriously malfunctioned or shown nothing but an empty, still scene, even on nights when the bell was heard ringing by people nearby. So what is it? A guardian of the woods? A paranormal beacon? Or just a simple object at the heart of a very persistent local ghost story? The mystery of the witch's bell is that it offers no easy answers. It just hangs there, silent and waiting. And those who live near the woods know to listen carefully on still nights. Because when that single chime breaks the silence, it means something is about to happen. You just don't know if it's good or bad. What do you think? Is there a scientific explanation we're missing? Or are some things just beyond our understanding? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries. Have you ever had a dream that felt so real you could almost touch it? What if that dream followed you into the waking world, not just as a memory, but as a new skill you suddenly possessed? Today, we're diving into a story that blurs the line between dreams and reality. A tale so strange, it sounds like something out of a fantasy novel. This is the story of Hela Smith, the woman who learned an entire language and even taught spells, all while she was asleep. Our story begins in late 19th century Geneva, Switzerland. Hela Smith, born Catherine Elise Muller, was a seemingly ordinary seamstress. But Hela had a secret life, one that unfolded when she closed her eyes. She was a prominent medium, known for her incredible trances, where she would channel spirits and visit far-off worlds. A psychologist named Theodore Flournoy heard about her extraordinary abilities and decided to investigate. He wasn't a believer in the supernatural, but he was fascinated by the human mind. For 5 years, he meticulously documented everything that happened during Hela's sessions. And what he found was beyond anything he could have imagined. During her trances, Hela would enter what she called her Martian cycle. She claimed to be communicating with beings from the planet Mars. This wasn't just a simple chat with aliens. Hela began speaking and writing in a completely new, fully formed language. She called it Martian. It had its own alphabet, its own grammar, and a unique vocabulary. She would fill pages with this strange script, translating it into French for Flournoy and the others present. She described the Martian landscape, the plants, the animals, and the people who lived there. She even produced detailed drawings of their cities and technology. To everyone watching, it was as if she was genuinely seeing another world. Now, you might be thinking, maybe she just made it all up. Flournoy thought so too. At first, he analyzed the Martian language and discovered something fascinating. Its structure was almost identical to Helene's native language, French. It seemed her subconscious mind had cleverly created a new language based on the rules it already knew. It was a phenomenon he called cryptomnesia, where forgotten memories resurface as new, original thoughts. Hela wasn't lying. Her mind was genuinely creating these experiences. But the story doesn't end there. Beyond Mars, Hela's trances took her to other lives. In her Hindu cycle, she became Simandini, the wife of an Arab sheikh who was later reborn as a 15th century Indian princess. She would perform intricate dances and speak in what she believed was Sanskrit, describing her life in a grand palace in India. Then there was her royal cycle, where she was none other than Marie Antoinette, the ill-fated Queen of France, reliving moments from her life at the court of Versailles. Each persona was distinct, with its own memories, personality, and even physical mannerisms. Helene's case became a sensation. Flournoy published his findings in a book called From India to the Planet Mars, which became an international bestseller. It made Hela famous, but it also exposed her to intense scrutiny and ridicule. Some hailed her as a genuine psychic link to other worlds, while skeptics dismissed her as a fraud. The surrealists, like André Breton, were captivated by her, seeing her as a pioneer of automatic writing and a gateway to the subconscious. But for Hela, the fame was a heavy burden. She eventually broke off contact with Flournoy, feeling he had betrayed her by explaining her gifts away with psychology. She continued her seances in private, always believing in the reality of her journeys. Hela Smith's story forces us to ask some profound questions. What is the true potential of the human mind? Where is the line between imagination, memory, and reality? Was she a gifted medium, a psychological marvel, or something else entirely? Her life remains a fascinating puzzle, a testament to the deep and mysterious worlds that might exist within all of us, just waiting for us to fall asleep. What do you think? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible stories. See you next time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a story for you that's a little bit different. A bit of a modern-day mystery that will make you rethink what could be hiding right under your feet. It all starts with a simple home renovation, something many of us have gone through. A couple buys a new house, excited to make it their own. They start tearing down walls, pulling up old floorboards, the usual stuff. But what they found was anything but usual. It began in the basement. As the husband was clearing out a corner to install some new plumbing, his shovel hit something hard. Not a rock, but something with a smooth, uniform surface. He dug around it. Curiosity piqued and eventually unearthed a small, sealed container. It was a simple, unassuming box, but it felt heavy, important. He called his wife down, and together they carefully brushed off the dirt. There were no markings, no labels, nothing to indicate what it was or who it belonged to. Their minds raced. Was it treasure? Old documents? Something left behind by the previous owners? They decided to open it. With a bit of effort, the seal broke, and they looked inside. It wasn't gold or jewels, it was ash. A fine, gray ash, along with what looked like small fragments of bone. They both knew instantly what they were looking at. These were human remains. An urn, buried in the dark, forgotten corner of a basement. Suddenly, their exciting renovation project turned into a full-blown investigation. Who did these ashes belong to? Why were they buried here, instead of being in a cemetery or a memorial? They contacted the previous owners, a sweet, elderly couple who had lived in the house for over 40 years. They were just as shocked. They had no idea the urn was there and couldn't offer any explanation. The mystery only deepened. The new homeowners felt a sense of responsibility. This wasn't just an object. It was the final resting place of a person. They couldn't just throw it away. So, they started digging into the town's history, poring over old property records and archives, trying to find a clue, a name, anything that could lead them to the identity of the person in the urn. They spoke to local historians and longtime residents, piecing together the story of the house, which was built in the early 1920s. Their search led them to an obituary from the 1950s, for a woman who had lived in the house. Her name was Eleanor. The obituary was short, but it mentioned she had a husband who had passed away a few years prior, a man named Arthur Gear. Digging deeper, they found Arthur's records. He had passed away unexpectedly, and the records showed he was cremated. But there was no record of his ashes being interred anywhere. Eleanor had lived in the house alone for several years after his death, before she eventually passed away herself. The couple had a theory. Could it be that Eleanor, unable to part with her beloved husband, decided to keep him close, right there in the home they shared? Perhaps burying the urn in the basement was her way of creating a private, personnel memorial, a place where he would always be a part of her life. It was a heartbreakingly romantic and incredibly sad thought. With no living relatives to contact, the couple decided on the most respectful course of action. They bought a beautiful new urn and held a small private ceremony in their backyard. They shared what they had learned about Arthur and Eleanor, imagining the love story that had unfolded within the very walls of their new home. They reinterred the ashes in a sunny spot in the garden under a newly planted tree. They felt it was the right thing to do, giving Arthur a proper resting place in the light, finally at peace. This story really makes you think, doesn't it? Our homes have so much history, so many untold stories of the people who lived and loved there before us. Sometimes those stories are hidden, just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for listening to this one with me. If you have any similar stories, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Have you ever wondered what your future self would look like? Not just in 5 or 10 years, but the person you're truly meant to become? What if I told you there's a legendary artifact, a witch's mirror, that can show you exactly that? This isn't just about seeing if you'll get a new car or a bigger house. This is about seeing your ultimate potential, the very best version of you. The legend of the Mirror of Becoming dates back centuries. It's said to have been crafted by a wise woman, often called a witch, who wanted to give people a glimpse not of their destiny, but of their potential. She believed that seeing our best self could be the most powerful motivation in the world. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing a version of you that's confident, happy, and has achieved goals you haven't even dared to dream of yet. That's the power of this mirror. So how does it supposedly work? The stories say the mirror doesn't reflect your physical appearance. Instead, it reflects your soul's deepest aspirations. When you look into its polished surface, you don't see your face. You see a scene, a feeling, an image of you living a life that aligns perfectly with your true purpose. For a struggling artist, it might show them standing in a gallery filled with their own work. For someone feeling lost, it might show them leading a community project with a smile on their face. The mirror reveals the you that exists when all fear and self-doubt are stripped away. But here's the most interesting part of the legend. The mirror is Yuan-Te, a magical crystal ball that predicts a fixed future. The image it shows is a possibility, a path that you have the power to walk. The witch who created it knew that the future isn't written in stone. The vision in the mirror is simply a destination. Seeing it is the first step. Believing in it is the second. And taking small, daily actions toward it is how you actually get there. The magic isn't in the mirror itself, but in the person looking into it. It's a tool for self-discovery. Now, you might be thinking, this is a great story, but where is this mirror? Well, the legend says, the mirror is Yuan-Te, a physical object hidden in a dusty attic or a forgotten cave. The witch's mirror is a metaphor for deep self-reflection. It is that quiet moment when you close your eyes and ask yourself, if there were no limits, who would I be? What would I do? That inner vision, that gut feeling, that's your personal mirror of becoming. So, I challenge you to try it tonight. Find a quiet space, take a few deep breaths, and look into your own inner mirror. What does the best version of you look like? What are they doing? How do they feel? Don't be afraid of what you see, even if it seems impossible right now. That vision is your North Star. Every great journey starts with a single step, and your journey starts with daring to look. What did you see in your mirror? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about the incredible futures you're all heading towards. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this little bit of magic, make sure to subscribe for more. See you next time.